To get the most out of a black and white scan negative, I've always found scanning it as a linear RAW file to give me the best results. And the reason for this is because we're not having any modifications applied to that scan during the scanning process. The RAW scan is basically a gamma 1 scan, and it's called a linear scan, and it's very easy to do in the most modern scanning software such as ViewScan or Silverfast, or even the Epson scan could all produce this linear RAW scan for us. Once we've done the RAW scan and brought it into Photoshop, we'll see something that looks like this, where it's untagged and unmanaged, and basically we have to leave it unmanaged for this process to work. So when we brought it into Photoshop, this is more or less what we're going to be looking at. This is the RAW scan straight out of the scanner. So the detail on the image is basically the exact detail that the scanner has actually taken from that negative, and it's applied no correction curve as it's been scanning the negative. Now, just like a digital RAW file, we have to do a conversion to this before we can then further enhance the image through our editing skills. And this is what the Linear RAW Scans plugin actually does. Think of it as the converter, just like Adobe Camera Raw is the converter for the digital RAW file. So once we've got the image into Photoshop, we can bring up the Linear RAW Scans panel. We've got a selection of tools along the top, which are basically image rotation options, because sometimes we might find that we've brought the scan in and it's in the wrong orientation. It may be vertical when it should be horizontally placed, or it may even be flipped in the opposite direction. So this is what these tools are for. Once we've got the image in the correct orientation, then we have to simply press the convert image button, and that will do the magic when it actually converts that linear file, which remember is a gamma 1 file, and it now places it into a workable grey gamma 2.2. Now the grey gamma 2.2 again is what I would recommend if you're going to be editing this type of a scan. A linear RAW scan by default is going to be flat in tone. It's going to have very little contrast, but it's going to have a lot of tonal range. That's providing that the original negative was exposed and to some degree developed properly. Once we've got the initial conversion done, in the Linear RAW Scans panel, we can actually use the auto correction option, which is found under the Tools section. And once we enable that, the program will then remap both the black point and the white point to give us a more pleasing image. The remaining tools in the section is just to create a simple curves adjustment layer or a simple levels adjustment layer, or we can actually merge all the layers into one using the Stamp Visible tool. In the upper right hand corner of the panel, you'll see various options, and also we've got some built-in video tutorials which will show you more in depth about the actual plugin itself. And we've also got a section which shows you how to use ViewScan to set it up to create this Linear RAW Scan file. The Linear RAW Scans plugin is not designed to be an editor. It's purely a converter where we convert the original gamma 1 linear file into a workable gamma 2.2 file. From here we can then move on to edit the image, which is more pleasing to what we have in mind.